Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, April 18th, 2023. It is 4:29 in the morning. Okay, this is part 5, the complete book of ghosts. Spirits in the scriptures. The oldest recorded account of an encounter with a spirit in Western mythology can be traced back to the appearance of the Witch of Endor in the Old Testament, who was ordered by King Saul to summon the spirit of the prophet Samuel. Saul, the king of Israel, had condemned all occult practices as blasphemous, but when he heard that the Philistines were marching on the city of Gilboa, he appealed to God for help. Receiving no answer, he disguised himself and called on the witch, who used a talisman to invoke the dead from the netherworld. The spirit of Samuel materialized out of the earth in the form of an old man, wrapped in a cloak, and complained of having been disturbed. Saul begged forgiveness and assured the spirit that he would not have disturbed him had his kingdom not been in peril, to which Samuel replied that what is fated to befall men cannot be undone. The spirit then departed, leaving Saul to face his enemies. The story is seen by some as a satire on the king who is forced to acknowledge forces greater than those at his command, and it also serves as a moral fable. Saul deceived the witch by coming to her in disguise, but she proved to be the wiser. After the spirit departed, she showed compassion for the humbled ruler, killing one of her animals to feed him. This story also underlines the Jewish belief that the soul of the deceased hovers near its body for 12 months after death before ascending to heaven. Communication with spirits was forbidden by the Old Testament, Deuteronomy chapter 18, verses 9 through 14. But consciousness, awareness of the higher worlds for the purpose of self-realization or enlightenment had been practiced since biblical times by initiates of Merkabah, a forerunner of the modern Jewish mystical teaching known as Kabbalah. Spirits are not acknowledged explicitly in the New Testament, although their existence is clearly implied. Most notably in Luke chapter 24, verse 39, when Jesus tells his followers, "Touch me and make sure that I am not a ghost, because ghosts do not have bodies, as you see that I do." Elsewhere, particularly in the lost Gnostic Gospels discovered at Nag Hammadi in 1947, there are several significant references to the living spirit within every human being and to the disciples' personal experience of the astral world and altered state of awareness. In the Gospel of Philip, Jesus makes a clear distinction between the real realm, i.e., the material world, and the realm of truth. People cannot see anything in the real realm unless they become it. In the realm of truth, it is not as with human beings in the world who see the sun without being the sun. Rather, if you have seen any things there, you have become those things. In 1 Corinthians chapter 15:50 and 2 Peter chapter 1 verses 18, it is stated that flesh and blood cannot enter into the celestial kingdom. In John chapter 3 verse 13, it is noted that heaven is for spiritual beings, and that we are all spirit in essence and will return from whence we came. And no man hath ascended up to heaven, but he that came down from the heaven, even the Son of Man which is in heaven. According to the Gnostic Gospels, Jesus appeared to his followers as a spirit to prove that the soul survives death. But due either to selective editing of the Gospels or a mistranslation of the rich metaphorical language of the Gnostic Gospels, this central teaching became literalized. St. Paul attempted to clarify the idea that Jesus had risen physically from the tomb, and in so doing made a distinction between our earthly form and our spirit. There are also celestial bodies and bodies terrestrial, but the glory of the celestial is one. The glory of the terrestrial is another. There is a natural body and there is a spiritual body. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, 35 through 44. Okay, so that is all for, what part is this? 3, 4, 5. For part 5, the complete Book of Ghosts. Thank you for watching.